Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome to another MX vs ATV Reflex custom track gameplay. Today, we're taking on DS19 SX3 compound track, which is his, obviously, third Supercross track addition to this compound, but he also obviously has the national track, which we've done before as well. And this one might be perhaps the most unique, I would say. Probably my most fun too, honestly, but unique is a good word for it, I feel, because it's got some very interesting aspects to the course that you, I guess, don't see on other levels or other maps all the time. I know that a couple of the models were taken on this course from another level, and I deeply apologize that I forget which level that is, but I'm sure that someone in the comment section below will tell me I'm a supreme idiot and remind me of which track that this huge bridge is from. It's like Snow Bluff or something like that. Again, terribly sorry I forgot. But yeah, wanted to play this Reflex track for a while now. I've played it a few times already before. There's a lot of different options and things you can do on the track, and I've just went over the finish line. That wall jump thing is the finish line. Yeah, I kind of got a little kick in the rear end, I feel like, this weekend without really ever trying. I wanted to make a Reflex video for a long time on this track, but I kind of have been putting Reflex to the back burner, what with so much stuff been going on in Sim lately, and you know, obviously All Out and Monster Energy Supercross and all the chaos that's been going on with that. And I did make a Reflex video not that long ago, so kind of shooting myself in the foot by saying this, but yeah, I just didn't feel like I really was putting any attention into Reflex at all. And then I went riding at the desert this past weekend over Thanksgiving weekend, which, by the way, hopefully everybody had a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving. Whether you got to spend time with your family or you just got to get a little time off, rest and relaxation, whichever you did, I hope it was a good time, and that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. But back to my story, I did go riding in the desert the Friday after Thanksgiving, and ran into a fan of the channel, and I, again, very sorry I forgot his name. I'm not sure if he told me his name actually or not, but he was telling me that his favorite videos on the channel are the Reflex videos. And I agreed with him that I really do enjoy doing the Reflex videos. It's one of my favorite games to play all time without question. And like I said, it was kind of a kick in the butt to be like, oh yeah, Reflex, it's still out there. Maybe I should pick it up and play it every once in a while. So yeah, loaded up this DS compound track and going at it today. Good times for sure. But yeah, I have played this track in the past a few times. Racer Rat, who is a really good Reflex player and has been generous enough to show me some of the ropes lately of the game. He and I motoed down on it a little bit. Oh man, it was a good over a month ago now, I'm sure. So I have some experience on this track, but as with most games these days, I feel like the second I stop playing it, I just lose all skills, and that's why you're seeing just an absolute atrocious attempt at me trying to play Reflex once again. But I will try to do the best to make this track look good, at least towards the ending 10 laps if I can. It's a pretty long Supercross track, but I don't feel like that's abnormal for Dark Slide's tracks. He tends to really kind of break the mold, the standard script of a Supercross track, if you will, and start building really cool environments mixed into the Supercross track. This track actually has a Joker lane, which I just went around and completely forgot that it was there. Yeah, I suppose I could take it in this video. It actually makes it so that you miss the finish line jump and have to go back around and do a whole nother lap. But that's how, when they raced this track, which I believe they already had a race on this track before, that's how they learned that someone had skipped the Joker lane if they did, because obviously they would have finished way ahead if they didn't take the Joker lane, because they would have done all 10 laps and not 11, technically speaking, laps. So that's kind of a cool little addition, not something you see very often in video games where there's an option to kind of break the mold, do a shortcut if you will. It's very common of popular video games like Mario Kart and stuff like that, but in a motocross video game, I feel like I haven't seen shortcuts in a motocross video game since like Jeremy McGrath's Supercross 98 definitely had them. Excitebike 64 had them. I'm trying to think if any newer titles had like definitive shortcuts that you had to go off the track to see. And I'm not saying this Joker Lane's a shortcut, but you kind of get the gist of what I'm saying there. So that's cool. The bridge model is very cool. You kind of start right in front of it on a platform. So that was one of the first questions I asked when playing this was, do you actually start on the bridge? And here, I'm going to dive off into the Joker Lane real quick. You just pop through these little bushes here, and then you're off in the Joker Lane. And it's pretty dang long, actually. Like, it goes all the way around here, and then jumps on way ahead of the rest of the track. So you actually don't, like, in terms of doing another complete lap, you actually probably cut off a good portion of the track. Like, if you're doing full 11 laps, that would have been a huge advantage. But as you see, it still has me on lap 3, so I did not hit the finish line jump, which means my lap time is going to be very, very long. Now, back to what was I talking about? I completely lost my train of thought there. I'm sure I'll come back around to it. No big deal. Starting to do that too often these days with just losing my train of thought. Oh, I know what I could talk about. I don't know why I didn't mention this earlier, but I was actually going to have another video come out today, but push that back to tomorrow, and I think you guys will be happy to see what that video is. But in order to replace a video for today, I feel like I should talk about the fact that we hit 50,000 subscribers on YouTube over the Thanksgiving weekend. I'm blown away. Like, I don't have the words to thank you all that choose to watch the content and subscribe and all that. Like, it's so special to me to have, you know, a project that I feel like was just an idea. It really wasn't anything that was going to be like tangible or put into motion. You know, Jeremy and I, when we started the channel, it was literally just kind of amusing. It wasn't like a thing that was actually going to happen. We talked about it a little bit. We weren't exactly sure about the logistics and working it out. And we almost didn't really make it to our deadline, which was to have a launch prior to the 2015 Supercross season so we could stream the MX Simulator Supercross series back then. But we just made it. We got it all pulled together, and lo and behold, you know, nearly 4 years later, here we are sitting at 50,000 subscribers, and I can't be any happier than that. And you'll notice that I do say we a lot, where it's kind of just me working on the channel most of the times. I don't take a single bit of credit away from Jeremy, especially for all the help he's done for the channel, but of course, you know, guys that I mentioned in the 1000th upload video, like Moto Gogo, Alex Heckman, Chris Riesenberg, everybody that has actually helped me along the way to make this channel what it is. Like, there's no way that I could have helped out the channel the way I ended up helping it out without those guys' help at all. So it's a real collaborative effort, and I never feel like I want to leave them out. So although it is mostly me working on the channel these days, I still do feel a collective we is more just in this situation to explain the kind of effort that goes into making this YouTube channel such a wonderful experience for some of you. You know, personally speaking, I don't really look at the number too much. It's a great milestone for us and something that we can be proud of, and feel that it's, you know, a great achievement to reach 50,000 subscribers. But I'm much more thrilled about the community base that we've built with having a YouTube channel where people can come and share their opinions and thoughts, and as well as download these tracks like we play. You know, the Track Walk series in MX Simulator, or this series, or some other series that we have. Like, it's legitimately a good reason for you guys to not only watch a video, but then be like, hey, you know, I haven't tried this track out yet. Maybe I'll download it and give it a shot. Most of the stuff obviously is PC only, because you can really only mod these types of games with PC. Can't really do much modding unless you buy DLC content on an Xbox or a PS4. But still, it's just, like I said, I'm over the moon, so thrilled and thankful. And I mean, it's a perfect weekend to hit 50,000 subscribers, Thanksgiving weekend, because I just can't think of anything I'm more thankful for right now than to just have this amazing life with an amazing YouTube channel and an awesome community that is behind this whole project. And yeah, overall, I'm just thankful. So 50,000 subs, huge deal for me, and super, super, super pumped. We'll move on from that topic and talk a little bit more about this track, if I may. Some of the things that I feel like are a recurring theme I'm seeing with most custom Supercross tracks are very pointy whoop sections, like the ones I just went through. And I understand that reflex physics work in a way to make that a little bit more enjoyable, but I do also wish that we would see a little bit more of the changing of the mold, where you could see a little bit more elongated whoops, perhaps rollers that are built kind of like whoops. And you know, dark slides, the track here is perfect. I would never change those whoops, but it's one thing that I just noticed as a recurring theme with tracks that I've played before, that those whoops always end up really tall, pointy, and again, it has a lot to do with the physics model of the game. So sometimes there's not many things you can do to make a section different from the norm. One thing I will do that's different from the norm is start changing up my lines. My God, I've hit the same exact lines for 6 laps in a row. So let's start hitting some insides. You guys can see some of the different options that are available on this track. Normally I go outside in this corner just because to hit this wall and get all the way up to that big step up landing up here, you really do have to go outside. But if you're just planning on rolling the wall like I did there, definitely don't have to do it. I like the flow of this back section here, kind of going up and down the hills, and I should have gone the inside there. I keep missing this triple on, but finally I got it. And yeah, this track just has tremendously good flow. Makes the compound almost whole at this point, honestly, because he's got so many different tracks built into it. This is actually initially like a little free ride slash trail ride part of the compound. And I don't remember if he has released a free ride version of the compound yet, but this was kind of already formed into something different, and apparently he went back in and just changed it all around and obviously built a Supercross track over here, and I'm so glad he did because it looks great. But that just goes to show the kind of creative process sometimes that goes into building these tracks, is that where you started and where you finish tend to be two very different points of the map. You don't always have the same mindset when you start as you get closer to the finish and think, oh, no, you know, actually I don't really like that section or that area of the track or what have you, kind of change it up. That's just speaking a little bit from my experience of building tracks in MX Simulator, is that a lot of the times a track that comes up into my head that I start building is pretty different when it actually comes out. I'd say the only track that is 100% about what I expected it to look like when I drew it up in my mind and then built it is the SYS Raceway, which we did that ride day on. But again, that just goes back to kind of the creative flow of building these tracks, and it's one of the beauties of building tracks in video games, or just doing any type of modding of any kind, whether it's skinning a bike model, or actually creating a bike model, or skinning gear, or building a track, or what have you. There's more than just coming up with the idea in your head and plotting it out. It's a lot of tedious time and work, and I always am very appreciative of the fact that these guys, Reflex, Sim, or any game really that has the capability to make these types of custom areas of the game, that they put the time and the effort into doing it, because I know it's a painstaking thing to do. Sometimes it's very tedious, it's repetitive. You feel like you do the same thing over and over and over again for hours just to get a semi half decent better result sometimes. But no, like I said, it's just overall there's a lot of work that goes into these tracks, and as an extension of my appreciation to the community and the fans of this channel, also an extension and an appreciation to the creators that have also made some of these different, you know, tracks or bikes or whatever that we use in these videos to make it look good, you know. It's kind of my goal with most of these gameplays, is I want to actually make the game or the track or whatever it is I'm showing off look good. not out to get people and slander a bunch of people, as some of the comments tend to gravitate towards. No, I really do want to see the people that make these tracks and make these bikes and all that stuff feel like that their work was worth the while. And I am very appreciative of it, and I know that a lot of you out there are as well, so just kind of re-echoing those sentiments as a big thank you to those creators out there that really serve to us that maybe don't understand the full ramifications of how much work and time goes into that. And oftentimes it ends up just biting them in the butt anyway. I mean, how many times has Chris Riesenberg built a track or whatever and just everybody bitches and moans about it? It's sad that it's sometimes that way, but I guess it's just things like that that make the world go round, huh? It's not all butterflies and sunshines. Alright, one more lap here on the DS19 Compound SX3 track. Pretty long video, but again, a lot of things to talk about, a lot of Thanksgiving joy to be spread, the 50,000 mark, the track creators, the track itself, everything. Yeah, what a video. Had fun riding this track though, I really do. And again, I want to thank Racerat, who really has helped me out a little bit with the game as of late. It's been a good while since we motoed down together, but yeah, gave me some tips and pointers on setup and stuff like that, which was a huge help for me in my learning curve with MX Simulator, that I wish I could extend the same type of support to a lot of you that ask me questions. I try to get around to any and every question that I can, and unfortunately I don't get the chance to do it as frequently as I would like, but you know, I don't feel like I would ever have picked up Sim if I didn't have a little helpful push. And if I didn't ever pick up Sim, I never would have met Jeremy Hinters, and if I never met Jeremy Hinters, there probably wouldn't be a Start Your Systems YouTube channel. So all around, good stuff to talk about today, and a fun track to boot. And again, please hit up the description below, download this track. It also will link you to the DS19.eu website, which I've had a couple people ask me about finding content for Reflex lately. That's a good source for it. It doesn't have everything, but it does have a good little bit of stuff, and it also has a way to click on Reflex Central links if you have a Reflex Central account, to go back and check out all the other old stuff that you may have missed from Reflex Central and you want to try something out again. So definitely check that out. And again, big thank you to all of you that choose to watch us here on Start Your Systems. My name is Kellen, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.